On August 28th, I'm going live and it's free. Join me for a free live event for witchy business owners who are ready to stop running their businesses like everyone else and start building something rooted in the divine feminine and magic. When you register, you get my free Business Witch Grimoire with 5 essential practices and your free seat for this event on August 28th, where I walk you through how to use this resource. It's free, it's live, and it leads you to Hex the Hustle, my 4-week Business Witch immersion in October. Register using the link in the show notes or visit my website, leandrawitchwood.com. Blessed be.
This time in the Magick Kitchen, we're diving into what is life like for an advanced kitchen witch.
I'm Leandra Witchwood.
And I'm Elyse Wells.
And welcome to the Magick Kitchen Podcast, where we talk about magic, kitchen witchcraft, herbs,
and everything in between.
This one's going to be fun because this is my jam.
Yeah. We wanted to really speak to the fact that if you've been listening for a while, you've heard quite a few episodes about how to start as a kitchen witch. You've heard a lot of Kitchen Witches Hearths, where we go into detail of our practices and the turns of the wheel. And this episode is really a chance to dive into the more advanced work of being a kitchen witch. Once you know the things, how are you using them and building on them in your everyday practice?
Yeah. And really it's I think the one thing I hear from my students all the time is, well, I don't have time, or I don't know what I'm doing. And it's not hard. You don't overcomplicate it. That's what I'm trying to say, is don't overcomplicate it. I think that's the one key element to getting started in any kind of witchcraft practice. It's a habit. Just make it a habit. And if you are bringing it into your kitchen, you're already having to cook for yourself. You already have to feed yourself. So just add a little something to it, Yeah. And I think one of the things I want to speak to in this is your ingredients. For my practice, I avoid all processed foods as much as possible. I also try not to eat out as much. So in my kitchen, if you were in the kitchen with me, you would see me pulling out fresh ingredients, chopping them up, sauteing them, boiling them, rendering them, whatever. And it would be all from scratch. I make all my pasta sauces from scratch. I make all of my dishes are pretty much from scratch. Now, that's not 100% of the time. Sometimes I have to pull out a bag of frozen vegetables or a frozen meal and throw it in the oven or the air fryer because life happens, right? This doesn't mean that my practice stops. And I think that's the marker of an advanced witch, is we are flexible.
Yeah.
We're malleable. We're able to roll with the punches, punt where we need to punt, and make the moments magical even when it seems like chaos. And you can do this at restaurants. You can do this when you have your food delivered to your door. You can do this in many, many ways as a kitchen witch, because your connection to your manifestation, your spirits, your spirit team, your magic in general is going to be your connection to how you nourish yourself, how you feed your body, and how you feed your family, how you maintain your kitchen, your hearth. And it really doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I want to stress. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah. I'll speak to the ingredients piece as well. And then we should talk about food blessing as well. I want to say that so I don't forget. Yes. But my ingredients, I try to do fresh, but I learned 2 years ago, there was a Zooey Deschanel special. was like an after school special. I don't know, but I watched it on the airplane and it was really cute. And she, in true Zooey Deschanel fashion, like goes through, like literally fashion. I love her little dresses. This must have been during the New Girl time because she just looked like that. But like she did this thing about like how to eat the best protein, how to eat the best veggies. And it was like 4 episodes. And the episode on veggies and fruit blew my mind because she shared that flash frozen is actually the best way in the United States to get nutritious vegetables and fruit.
Yes.
So, and I struggle with frozen vegetables. Like they taste weird to me. I can tell they're frozen. I don't know.
Frozen.
So many people say they can't though, but I can. Yeah. So I don't really do that as much as Zooey Deschanel might want us to. I do try to eat fresh. But this year I'm growing my own ingredients for that reason. So I do the frozen fruit thing in the summer. Like I try to use that as ice cubes, like frozen berry mix.
Frozen avocado. Like things that are going to go bad. Absolutely.
That's a good idea. Great. Yeah. Or even frozen chopped onion. Like if you know that's going to help you eat more vegetables, like you should go for it.
Right.
And that doesn't have a flavor issue. It's like broccoli. That's or asparagus. That needs to be fresh for me. I'm old fashioned. I don't know. I like the crunch, the crisp.
There's a book I read a few years ago called, I think it's called Eating on the Wild Side. I'm going to look it up because it's a food scientist and she talks about our food and how like our fresh broccoli, within 24 hours of it being cut, it loses 40% of its nutrients. So frozen broccoli is better for you.
Yeah.
Frozen.
You told me about this, and you told me, I think you also were the one who told me that microgreens or lettuce is like 3 hours, and then it loses all of its nutrients. And so, of course, the stuff from the store,
all of its nutrients are gone.
It's gone. It's done. Yeah. So we're growing. Literally, we have little baby seedlings as we speak.
Nice.
We're recording this in March. So by the time of this, I'll try to remember to post around this episode. Yeah. Of like them growing, like actually alive in the yard. Hopefully that will be the truth. But yeah, it gets in your head where you're like, oh my God, there's no nutrients. Because I think maybe that's where to start with this is what is the reason for your kitchen witch practice? For me, it is to deepen my connection to land and self and embodiment because our bodies being nourished and well, this is our altar, this is who we are. Like we talk about
altar.
Yeah, we talk about in witchcraft how the body is the pentagram. It has every element included in us. We are all the elements. We are, and so our connection to our food is that opportunity to nourish ourselves with that and remind ourselves of those things.
Absolutely. And it's and I like what you said about like, well, what is your purpose of your kitchen witch practice? Is it shock and awe just to be like, look, I'm a witch in the kitchen and look at me go? Or is it really to genuinely deepen your practice, to genuinely bring in magic into your hearth and home, in making your practice something you can practice every single day with ease? Because when you're in the kitchen, nobody has to know what you're doing. Nobody has to know you're saying an incantation in your mind as you stir the pot. Nobody has to know that you added garlic for protection.
Mm-hmm. They don't notice which direction you're stirring versus, Wittershins or Jessel, go for it. Like no one will know.
Yeah. Nobody has to know. And if they do, cool. Even more better.
Yeah, if you get to teach them. Yeah. I mean, my kitchen witch practices, now it's not even this advanced. Like I used to light a candle and intentionally begin cooking my meals. Now I don't have to do that. Like I'm in the headspace the minute I'm in the kitchen because every time I'm in the kitchen, I'm in magical space. Like I really view, maybe that's a piece of advanced work is just viewing your kitchen as sacred space.
It is. And when you become more versed in your practice, it becomes automatic. And I think that is a key marker of an advanced practitioner rather than compared to someone who's learning the process. And looking back at my own practice and everything that I've done and every spell work that I've done and all the training I've gone through, that to me is the marker of my advancement. When I can step into that sacred space, no matter what it is, it could be my bedroom, it could be my office, it could be my car, absolutely my kitchen. And I can just drop into, okay, we're doing this now. And this is my focus. And one thing I've always talked about is when you can maintain your focus, your magical focus, your intention can be directed in chaos, there's something to it. You have mastered something in the magical mindset, in the magical realm, where you will not be diverted or deterred. And that is absolutely a marker of an advanced practitioner. And it's so subtle. It's so arbitrary. It's not something you can put on a piece of paper and check a box and, oh, look, I did this, so there I am. It is your personal gnosis that steps in and your experience that says, okay, we're doing this now. And yeah, maybe the 2-year-old is running amok in the living room and making a lot of noise, but I can still drop in for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds while I stir this pot, while I saute these vegetables, however long that takes, 10 minutes. I can drop in. And I think there's this misconception that ritual has to be long and elaborate. It's not true. Rituals can take 30 seconds. They can take 5 minutes. They can take 2 hours. That's up to you. However long you can hold your attention, that's your ritual.
Whether you've been practicing for 30 days or 30 years, most of us reach a point when our magic feels like it's just not fully working. Like you have some powerful flashes, but your magic feels exhausted in between. And there's a reason for that. It's not because you're doing it wrong, but you might be doing it from an incomplete foundation. You're missing something solid underneath you. Rediscovering the Divine Feminine is a 9-week live immersion through all 9 Divine Feminine archetypes, from the primordial to the mystic. This circle officially opens July 9th, complete with live sessions, digital grimoires that you put together to build something full. I include a private community space and a direct path to the Temple of 9 for those who are ready to take this journey further. To enroll by June 30th, you will receive an exclusive invitation to the pre-initiation circle on July 7th. This is a live gathering that will not be recorded. Find the details and the enrollment information in the link in the show notes, or visit leandrawitchwood.com. The map is waiting. The foundation is being built. And I know there is a version of you that is ready to take that step. Blessed be.
Yeah, it's about presence, staying present and listening, being open enough that you can listen and receive as much as you are giving in your intention.
Yeah.
So something I did like when I was being raised Orthodox Christian was the praying on the food thing. But I never liked that there was this, like a lot of our prayers in Orthodoxy, first of all, it's Orthodoxy, so they're long-winded. And they were like, you had to like all stop and be silent and close your eyes and like look at the man at the top of the table. Like so patriarchal, so uncomfortable.
Oh.
But I do like the idea of giving gratitude. Like to me, the reason to do this is to be grateful for our food, because look at the price of groceries. Like, food. I mean, really, like I feel grateful whenever I have a good meal anymore because it is so expensive. I mean,
so it's expensive.
And especially the good meals. Like I really try to do a nice dinner for my husband and I every night. I love cooking, obviously. I love being in the kitchen. So I really try to take like 5 p.m. I'm in the kitchen until dinner around 6:30. And we try to sit at the table. We also do like going to the living room and watching a TV. But if it's...
That's okay. Sit outside. Like,
when it's nice out.
Meal calls you. Oh my gosh, yes. That's my favorite. Eating outside, cooking outside is my favorite.
Me too. I'll tell you our plans then for... My husband's doing some cool stuff in the yard this year because he was like, I want to sit in the veggie garden and eat. So he's like built, like it's a whole thing he built.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
I know. By the time this episode comes out, I will try to post a garden update on Instagram to go with this episode coming out because that would be good timing. Yeah. Oh, it's kind of cool actually. Like I'll re-listen to this in a few months and be like, wow, it all happened. But yeah, it is like the gratitude piece is really important to have for our food. So I don't have any specific words that I say. It's not about words for me, but I will just put my hand on my heart and look at my food. I'll have my eyes open rather than the blessings we were often taught as kids to close our eyes. I look at the food and I think about the people who grew it. I think about if there's any animals on that plate, who they were, and I send them love and gratitude for giving their lives for this meal, for mine. Really, let's be honest, these animals are sacrificed for us to live. If you eat meat, that is the reality. So
It's
having
sacrifice.
that understanding.
Well, even plants too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're living beings. Mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So really thinking about the life that is taken for ours to continue as we eat. And this goes for your processed food too, because it's all in there too. So if you eat more processed foods, that's okay. Like, it's the same thing. Be grateful for what gave its life to be nourishing yours. So I just really take presence in that moment and just send gratitude to each ingredient on my plate. It takes a minute, max. No one notices I do this either. Like, even at conferences and stuff with other witches, that's the only time anyone's noticed me do it. And I think it's because they were doing it themselves. But usually, like, out in public and stuff, like, even my husband doesn't notice me do it when we sit down to eat together. Because it's not about getting the tension for it. Like, that was the other thing I never liked about Christian blessings, is it felt very like, everybody gather for grace. Like, I don't need that pomp and circumstance.
It's a lot of pomp and circumstance, really. Yeah, I'm not one for the pomp and circumstance. I like pageantry. I like ritual that has some substance to it. Yeah, aesthetics. Yeah, I love that. One of the things I like to do, so in showing appreciation for my food, I like to know how much effort and how many miles I had to travel to get to my grocery store if I'm not growing it myself. And this gives me so much appreciation for the food I'm going to eat. So I just did this yesterday. Maybe it was an intuitive impromptu for this episode. But I love sumo oranges. I don't know if you've ever had a sumo orange. They're so ugly, but they're delicious.
Really?
They're like so delicious.
Oh, I had no idea they tasted good because they looked ugly. I thought they'd be like blood oranges or something.
No, they're delicious. And they remind me of a tangerine.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the way they peel, but they're bigger and they're sweet. They're very, very delicious. Love them. But I'm like, you know what? This is such a strange orange. I wonder, and I do this with a lot of my food, that if I don't grow it myself, I sit and I will start researching it. And this comes from my training in my coven. We used to do a program called Touch the Earth. And it was a program where we would take our students through the process of, where does your water come from? Where does your sewage go? Like, really looking at it in detail, our impact on the world, just living our everyday life. And one of those exercises was, where does your food come from? When you go to the grocery store to buy your food, how many miles did it have to travel? Where did it come from? Who grew it? So I started doing this with the sumo orange. As I'm sitting there peeling my orange and enjoying the scent of it, I'm enjoying the texture of its rough skin. So, and that's part of the process, is you're appreciating the food. So as you peel the banana, as you peel the orange, as you bite into the apple, you're appreciating the texture. You're appreciating, it's much like mindful eating, but a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so how far, did the Google search, how far does a sumo orange have to travel to reach York, Pennsylvania, where I live? And it literally has to travel almost 3,000 miles. 3,000 miles to reach the grocery store from California. It's primarily grown in California. And they're only available from January to April. So there's a very short growing season for these oranges. And this just helps me drop into appreciating what I'm eating more, so I can slow down. So I'm not gobbling it up because I'm starving, which is, that's pretty typical for me. I wait until I'm ravenous to eat, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's me every
But it forces me to slow down. Yeah. I'm busy. So eating is something that I do need to get better at, like taking care of myself throughout the day. I drink my water.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah. And it's always lunch for me. And I don't eat breakfast at all. And then it's lunch for me, because dinner I've ritualized. Like, it's this like grounding, because I love the prep period. I think it comes from, at least at my age, like being raised by a second wave feminist who, my mom did cook, but she was a stay-at-home mom. So she had to cook,
Oh, yeah.
but she hated it. She viscerally hated cooking, and she cooked very pragmatically, and like it was like, get out of the kitchen. I need to get this awful thing over with. And
Right.
and a lot of our friends, my aunt was one of, my aunt does cook now, but when she was raising her son when he was young, she wasn't, she was like a grab a bag at Wendy's drive-through kind of mom.
Gotcha.
And then like a lot of my friends too were like, I'm never going to cook. I'll get a man who can cook, or I'll get a partner who can cook. And I was like, what, why? So, but
Why?
I had a cousin who loved cooking, and she grew all her own food. They even killed their own chickens every year. And then they had a neighbor
Wow.
who would butcher, they would like pay for him to raise a calf for them. And then
Yep.
so literally all their food came from
That's how I grew up.
essentially their land, like incredible.
Yeah.
So, and she had such joy in it. Like I remember one time she took me on a tour of her garden, and she had like moon blossoming plants over here. And like she walked me
Nice.
past them at sunset and was like, these will be open when we walk past. And she took me around the garden. When we came back, they were open. And that like blew my mind. I was like
Beautiful.
probably 6 visiting her in Virginia. So she, since over my life, I was like, I want to be more like Phyllis in the kitchen. And so as I got my own house, my own apartments, like that was really important to me to ritualize food prep as an enjoyable experience. This is another one people will be like, really? But I also ritualize cleaning my kitchen because I want my space to be clear. So I'll actually draw pentagrams and circle them, do a pentacle and then put it in a circle to create a pentagram on each of my counter spaces as I clean them. It's how I clean them. Just like they're an altar. Exactly how I clean my altar is how I clean
like
my
an altar.
pentagrams.
Yep. Yeah. And it's a daily ritual. It's a daily activity you can do to keep yourself in magic mode and drop into that sense of awareness for your food, for your space, for your practice. And I grew up in a similar way. My grandfather had a farm. He raised cows, pigs, rabbits, chickens. What else did we have? We had a bunch of stuff. We even had a pony at one point. We didn't eat the pony, though, just to be clear.
No glue for Boxer.
No, the pony was just a sweet, fun addition to the farm. But yeah, I remember going down to the barn while my grandfather was slaughtering chickens. And like they would always, it was funny because everybody's like, oh, no, don't go down there. Don't go down there. Like they wanted to protect me from the blood, from the experience of it. But it didn't bother me. It was sacred to me. This is something sacred that we're doing to feed our bodies. And my favorite in the barnyard though were the goats. Those were my absolute favorite. We didn't eat the goats. My grandfather milked them, and they were my favorite. They're still my favorite. Like goats are just, I don't know. Like I would have goats as before I'd have dogs in my house, I guess. but it was just this experience of feeding the chickens, feeding the pigs, feeding the cows, and watching them grow from this adolescent creature to, 1,000-pound creature. And then we would the whole family, each of us had a Sub-Zero freezer, and we would split the meat between the family. So it was funny. And I think I've told this story before, but growing up, I never had to go to the grocery store for our meat. It was always fresh from the farm, fresh chicken, fresh pork, fresh beef, all of it, fresh eggs too. So when I moved out, 18, I'm all full of myself. I'm going to get my own apartment. I'm going to be on my own, go to the grocery store, and I buy my first pack of chicken to cook. And I open it up. I'm like, what is wrong with this chicken? It's rancid. I knew right away it was rancid. It was bad. And my boyfriend at the time, he's like, no, that's just chicken. That's fine. It's fine. Look at the date. It's fine. I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is bad chicken. He's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. For me, it was because I was so used to it being a few days old rather than a week or more old. And it took me a long time to adjust to that, to not having the farm fresh foods. And I think part of that helped me also appreciate what we have. And in my book, Magick in the Kitchen, I write about that experience. I write about how you can go and find local farms and sponsor a quarter cow or a half a cow. So you help raise the animal, but then you get the meat later so that you have a freezer full of meat for a year or two. And that's a nice thing to do, especially in a world of factory farms, right? We have these factory farms that are obvious pollutants. I know the big pushback right now is against, AI facilities, but factory farming has been one of the biggest issues for our waterways, for
our air,
pollutants and air.
Yeah.
Yeah. If any of our listeners live near Norco, California, you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. When you drive through Norco, California, it is nothing but dairy farms, and it is disgusting. Like, you can literally see a haze of just
methane
or whatever it is, like poop particles hovering. I mean, you literally have to roll up your windows, shut your vents because the smell is so bad.
Yeah.
And that's a long-standing problem. And it's not one that we've been able to remedy. So if we can be more conscious of our food and more deliberate in how we obtain our food, then we have a better chance of not only receiving fresher food, but limiting how much we rely on these big corporations that pollute and destroy to feed our bodies.
And I'll say this too, like, I always was under the impression that doing farm to table was more expensive. That did used to be true. But with tariffs,
it used to be.
It's really like for us to go, now we have to drive and pick it up. But there is a thing called Azure, Azure, and it's national. It might just be continental U.S., but it is national in the United States, where they basically work with the local farms that do this sort of like get a calf, get a quarter side, or, get your chickens. They do pork for sure. I don't eat pork, but I know they do it. And then they also do eggs. They do like einkorn flour bread, cookies, gluten-free stuff. I mean, it's like anything on alternative food you can think of that you would want, Azure has it, and you find a pickup point near you and do it. That used to be like about maybe $70 more per grocery trip for us to do it when we first started it in 2024. It's now almost the same. Sometimes if I go to Weis versus Aldi, I will spend more than I would spend using Azure. Yeah. So the things that we used to think were expensive because we were paying for labor, right? You're paying for an American, first of all, not an Argentinian or something, to grow this beef for you.
Or someone from China
Yep. But this is local. And so the food mileage, it's kind of a good thing because these tariffs are terrible, but they are forcing us to move local and small again because we're paying a crap ton anyway. We may as well support our neighbor up the road. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine arriving somewhere built to hold you. Stone paths leading to hidden caves of the goddess. Salt water clearing away old patterns. Long tables of food and friendship shared beside a sunset. Temples of the old gods. Alive in and around you. You are invited to join me in Greece on an in-person pilgrimage through ancient temples and landscapes where women once gathered to grieve, rest, and remember themselves. We travel to the Temple of Artemis, Hecate's cave at Elyse. We swim inside a temple of Hera and enter a hidden goddess cave and sacred sites to Aphrodite and Medusa. Our days are shaped by land, water, and ritual. Our nights are spent at a private villa with expansive views, a private pool, deep rest, and exceptional food prepared with care. This retreat is for women and non-binary seekers carrying exhaustion, grief, or a long history of holding it together. Join us at ElyseWells.com/feminine wound, where spots still remain. The land can hold it. Come to Greece and answer that call to heal.
Right. Absolutely. And you know where it comes from. You know what the ingredients are. You can ask the person that actually tended the animal or the farm.
And this is advanced kitchen witchery because it's advanced work. You're using your heart and your mind to decide things. You're moving beyond the, I'm going to bless my Luna bar to, what could I eat instead of this Luna bar that would help, you know. And maybe we still eat the Luna bar. Like I live on Aloha bars when I'm in Greece because I'm so busy and I'm out in the middle of nowhere doing a lot of my research. So like I can't spend an hour driving back into civilization for lunch. So I do eat a lot of processed food out of necessity sometimes. But Aloha bars, they're as good as you can get as far as processed goes. So man, I should reach out for a sponsorship, honestly. I recommend them to everybody so much. Because I also have so many allergies. I eat at home a lot. Like I'm allergic to soy and dairy. That is not easy in America, especially.
Well, and that's a growing issue too. More and more people are immunocompromised in one way or another.
Yeah. Soy didn't bother me until
allergies
4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Gluten didn't bother me until about 5 years ago.
And then gluten used to bother me.
I can't.
And then I reset my biome in Europe. Insane.
It's so weird.
Maybe this is the advanced work too, is letting your practice evolve. And the more you connect to your body, the more your awareness of this stuff changes. And
Yeah. And there's something to be said for eating clean, for eating as clean as possible. And this is nothing I ever teach to my students, to my coven. Nothing I ever teach is hard, fast. Like this is flexible. This is trying to do better. This isn't, well, I've got to check all the boxes. I have to be rigid. I have to hustle, and make this my new norm.
Yeah.
It's about meeting yourself where you are and doing the work that you are capable of doing right now. You know, if your lifestyle doesn't allow for you to go to a farm because you live too far from one, then I'm sure there's an alternative somewhere. I'm sure at the grocery store there's an alternative.
There might be a shipping
like
option.
Our grocery stores here. Yeah. Our grocery stores here, they have local sections where it is local stuff. So if I'm in a pinch, I can go to that section and get local stuff. But I am fortunate, and I recognize this because where I live in Pennsylvania, I am surrounded by farms. I'm surrounded by CSAs. So I have a lot of resources around me so I can get chicken that was, slaughtered 2 days ago. And it is a little more expensive, but well, I don't know. Right now I have to do the comparison again, but I think right now with the grocery prices, it's about the same.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a much fresher, much cleaner animal for my dinner table rather than something that's pumped full of saline solution and
chlorine.
Antibiotics and
the chlorine. The chlorine is really that just and I think that's this can definitely overwhelm some people. And I can hear that. But also, like, as you advance in your work, this is where to go next. So if you're listening and you're like, whoa, hey, I'm still not overly confident on, how to cook with ingredients at all. I saw a reel that was saying, like, when you're hungry, but you're visiting your friend and they're an ingredients household. And I'm like, what does that mean? What other kind of household is there? Like, and then I was talking to my husband because I'm about to leave for Greece for 6 weeks, and then he'll join me in Greece. But over these 6 weeks, I do all the cooking. I've tried to teach him things over the years. Like, he doesn't know how to make rice. He knows how to make popcorn on the stove for himself. He's great with the air fryer. Like, he's not completely like inept, but he's like, I think I'm just going to do protein shakes and frozen meals. And that's when it clicked for me. I was like, there's no ingredients in that. You just throw it in. So I do think a lot of people eat that way. So if you do, you can still be an advanced kitchen witch. It's about how you're tending your space, keeping your counters clean. Maybe when you vent your microwave meal, you do it in a pentagram, like
maybe,
like see how you can just every moment of that practice be grateful for the ingredients and be mindful of how you're preparing it.
Yeah. I want to talk next about cooking techniques, because I think a lot of people get wrapped up in cooking techniques. They're like, oh, I have to do it exactly the way.
Oh, yeah. A kitchen witch always uses a cauldron over an open flame. Next question.
Right.
Just kidding.
They're fun. Yeah.
Although it is cool. Like, I have a gas stove now, and I do love that over electric because it's like, the fire's here.
the fire. Yeah. But so let's talk about cooking techniques next and the methods we use in cooking, because I think I watch practitioners get hung up in this. They'll watch a cooking show or a YouTube channel, and they're like, "Oh, well, so and so did it this way, so I have to do it this way." You really don't. There is the French cooking techniques. There's home cooking techniques. One thing I do stress though is safety. That's the one thing I do want you to be very, very aware of and very acutely trained in or, practiced in, because you don't want to cook everything on high heat. It doesn't cook it faster. It just destroys your pans and burns everything. I'm speaking from experience because there's a big disconnect in the way my husband cooks and the way I cook. And it's part of the reason why I do most of the cooking, because if he's going to go in and cook eggs, he will cook everything on high heat. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Why does it smell so bad in here? Why is everything burned? Why is the pan singed? And there are certain techniques you should be aware of. Like if you're cooking eggs, you want to go medium, low, slow. If you're seasoning, you want to make sure that you're seasoning it to your taste. Recipes say, quarter teaspoon of salt. Well, maybe that's not enough salt for the meat that you have.
And when do you add your salt?
Do it to taste.
I do it 3 times. I do it in the beginning when I'm deglazing. So if I most food I make, whether this is a stir fry, tacos, whatever, I throw oil and onion in the bottom first. And once those onions are clear and I'm adding the other stuff, I add the salt with the other stuff first. So I add like my first pinch, basically. I don't use measurements. I'm Rachel Ray. People come over and love my food. They're like, how did you make this? I'm like, I don't know. Like I'll show you with my fingers and hands how big it was. I've become my
Yeah, we do the same thing.
Yeah, like when we share recipes, we get it with each other. And then some people are like, can you write it down? I'm like, I can voice note you.
Nah.
That's all I can do.
Yeah, I can tell you how I did it.
Yeah. Maybe that's a mark of advanced kitchen witchery too.
Maybe.
But yes,
you just kind of go with it.
You might add your salt and seasonings. And then in Greek cooking, this is how you make everything taste Greek. You add lemon and a drizzle of olive oil. I don't always do this because I don't digest fats well anymore. But olive oil and some lemon at the very end once it's cooked.
Yeah.
That's
how I love my broccoli.
Greek.
I love doing that to my steaks. I know it's weird. Yeah, put a squeeze of lemon over your steak. It is amazing.
Sinelada in Greece,
about it,
they serve steak with lemon on the side. I've never heard someone outside of Greece.
That's my favorite way to eat steak.
Yeah, and pork steak they do that with too.
Okay. One of the things that I think makes a big difference in the kitchen is knowing first your tools and your ingredients. Knowing the alchemy that happens when you cook. And knowing why you add certain things, like the whole lemon thing, it's acid. If you have something that's rich and fatty or dense, the lemon helps break that up. The lemon helps brighten it. It helps it taste better without adding extra salt. Because sometimes you don't need more salt. Sometimes you need acid. And so having these basic understandings of cooking, and you don't have to take a master's degree French cuisine course to get this knowledge. You can watch a cooking show. Watch Rachel Ray or my favorite was Ina Gartner.
Oh yeah.
The Barefoot Contessa. Yeah.
Yes,
I love watching her. Like these different people who, celebrity chefs that they're teaching you how to cook while they're doing the thing. Yeah. While they're, giving you some form of entertainment. Watch these shows. I mean, maybe they're a little boring, fine. But you know what? You'll learn something. You'll learn the techniques. You'll learn the terminology. And if you have something in your area, if they have cooking lessons in your area, sometimes the culinary institutes in your area will have the students teach lessons. And then you can go in, you'll learn how to make sushi. You can learn how to make your rice. You can learn how to make your basted broiled chicken or whatever it is, whatever it might be. You'll learn how to flambe. You'll learn how to saute. All these terms that kind of get thrown around in cooking that seem daunting to someone who's never cooked before. Or, maybe it's, like your mom hated cooking, so she didn't sit with you and say, okay, this is called sauteing. Yeah. This is why you warm up your pan because we have stainless steel pans. This is how you tell if your pan is ready type of thing. And so knowing your ingredients, knowing your tools, and then knowing some of the basic techniques, I think that'll take you so far in your cooking, far beyond just boiling water or cooking some eggs in a pan.
So hopefully this will be a good inspiration for you to move forward on your Kitchen Witch journey.
Mm-hmm.
If you have questions, if you're like, hey, I'm doing this, what do y'all think? Please do message us. You can message us on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can email magickitchenpodcast@gmail.com. We are always here and we love answering questions and really serving the community.
Merry meet.
Merry part. And merry meet again.
Thank you for joining us on the Magick Kitchen Podcast. Please visit my website, leandrawitchwood.com, for news, information, and more episodes.
I'm Elyse Wells. You can learn more about my current offerings and my upcoming retreats to Greece at ElyseWells.com. That's ELYSEWELLES.com. Did you know you can get a free reading from me every single Wednesday at 10 a.m.? Join me in my live devotional space for Sacred Wild Wednesdays. We gather live on a webinar for free readings with oracle texts and tarot decks, magical musings on the moment, and some grounded spiritual guidance rooted in land. If you're craving a pause, a recalibration, and some community, you are so warmly invited to join us. Visit ElyseWells.com/sacredwildwednesdays to register and get the link straight to your inbox every Wednesday.